In today's video, we're going to go over a series of exercises to relearn how to do hip extension. So bringing the leg backwards combined with abduction. In this video, you're going to learn why some of you might be having a problem with this combination of hip movements. And of course, a series of exercises to relearn this critical combination of movements to restore normal walking. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tara. I'm a neurologic physical therapist, and on this channel we talk about anything and everything related to mobility, health, fitness, and mindset in the context of neurologic injury with the end goal of empowering you with as many tools as possible to take ownership of your rehab and your health to live an overall more active, more mobile, pain-free, happier, healthier life. Now, before we dive in, as a reminder, there will be a PDF handout that goes along with this video that has pictures and descriptions of all the exercises that we go through today. Those PDF handouts are available to our Rehab HQ members to learn more about our membership programs and to sign up to get instant access to this video's PDF handout and all the other videos' PDF handouts. Visit rehab-hq.com. I also have a link to a free PDF handout of a stance control routine that if you're having trouble with what we're going to go over today, that PDF handout will definitely help you out. So if you're not a member, second link in the description below is a link to that free PDF handout. But now let's go ahead and dive into today's video. All right, so first, let's talk about why hip extension with abduction is such a critical movement to restore walking quality and walking efficiency. Well, as humans, we have two legs. When we're standing on two legs, the hips and the entire upper body is supported nicely on both sides. When we walk, there is a moment in time where we're standing on one leg. When we stand on one leg, we're removing one of those columns holding up the house, our upper body. And so there needs to be something that prevents the roof or us from dropping. And the thing that does that are the hip abductors. So these are our hips. We're now on one pillar. There has to be a little kind of guy wire on the outside of this leg, and that guy wire to hold our hips level are our hip abductors. So that's why the hip abductors are important in order to keep our hips level. If you're someone where you drop when you walk, that could be a sign that your abductors are weak. But when it comes to walking, we're not just using our hip abductors to keep us level, we're also advancing our body forward. So how do we do that? We do that when our foot hits the ground, our foot moves backwards into extension, and that's what moves our body forward. So that hip extension is also important, and that comes to the topic of today's video. That's why you really need to be able to do hip extension with abduction. Now, let's talk about why a lot of you cannot do that. And of course, if you've been around for a while, you probably already know what I'm going to say. Has to do, most likely, for most of you, if you've had a neurologic injury that's impacted your legs, you might be someone who's experiencing some spasticity and some abnormal synergy patterns. An abnormal synergy pattern is just something that happens where muscles link up abnormally together. I talk about this a lot, but it's always good to review because there are always new people on this channel. But a common abnormal synergy after a neurologic injury is an extensor synergy pattern. So what has linked up kind of abnormally in an extensor synergy pattern? You have hip extension with adduction. Those two kind of link up, and we call that an abnormal extensor synergy pattern. There's other things that are linked with that, but those are the two that are important. So notice, if you extend and you have an abnormal synergy pattern, the leg's going to want to come across. Or if you're standing on this leg and you need to extend to bring your body weight forward, you're also going to want to adduct on this side. And you can see, and some of you kind of walk like that. We call that scissoring, where you're crossing midline. So that might be why some of you kind of scissor, meaning your legs cross over each other when you walk. Okay, so that is one potential reason. The other reason is just weakness A lot of times, it's the hip abductors can become weak after a neurologic injury. And then spasticity is also really common, in some of the muscles that become kind of spastic are, in some cases, the adductors, the muscles that bring the legs together. And that can also be one reason, or a potential reason, why some of you guys can't abduct, and it really, really does impact your walking. Now, I've done videos on hip abduction just in general, and usually I'm talking about that Trendelenburg walking pattern. So that, a lot of that video was isolated hip abduction. But in this video, I really want to focus on that hip extension with abduction, that combination of movements. Okay, so now you know why this combination of movements is important, why you might not be able to do this combination of movements, how that impacts your walking. Now let's figure out or learn the exercises to restore this critical combination of hip movements. All right. So for this exercise, all I've done is I've attached a resistance band to the wall. You can actually do this in a door frame, just hook it to the top of the door frame. Most of these resistance band kind of sets or systems, they come with a little strap that has like a little ball in it that goes on the other side of the door. And then when you pull it through, it gives you a secure spot to secure the resistance band. For this exercise, what we're doing is we're doing like a diagonal pattern. So what you really want to think about is we're not just going straight down, but you're kind of letting the band bring that leg up and across your body, and then you're bringing the leg down and way out to the side as far as you can get it. That's how we're working on that hip extension with that abduction. So let me show that to you again. Kind of let the resistance band bring your leg up, and then you're going to bring it down and out to the side. Up and across, down and out to the side. Up and across, down and out to the side. Up and across, down and out to the side. That's hip extension with abduction. This is really ideal for those of you in the early stages. Most people can do this. If you find that you can't keep your leg straight, sometimes it's helpful to put a knee immobilizer on. You can buy a knee immobilizer on Amazon. They're relatively cheap. For this exercise, you're just pushing your leg into the wall and then doing kind of like a clamshell. Most of you know what a clamshell is. We're just adding a little bit more of that hip extension by putting that foot on the wall. If you can't keep your foot on the wall, it's perfectly okay to do kind of like a traditional bridge with the hip abduction. If you do the traditional bridge, and I'll show that to you in a minute, it's good to put a TheraBand or a resistance band around your knees, just to give you a little bit more of a challenge. And here's what that looks like. A little push out with the legs and lift. Again, you're getting that hip extension with the abduction. So a little lift, keeping those knees pressed out into the TheraBand. All right, so for this exercise, we're doing a leg bias. That's usually when I put a block under one leg. What I'm trying to do is emphasize putting more weight on the other leg. So all of your weight should be on this foot. The block is just there to help encourage putting more weight on the leg that's on the ground. And then you're adding that TheraBand so you could do that hip abduction with that extension. All right, and again, we're getting into some more advanced exercises now. You just want to secure a TheraBand into a door frame. You want the TheraBand trying to pull your knee in, because again, remember, we're trying to work abduction. So you want it pulling that knee in, and you're just resisting it. You're pushing that leg out and doing a step up. That's hip extension with abduction. All right, and then probably one of my favorite exercises of all that a lot of you guys have seen me show in a lot of videos, and usually my rationale for anything low to the ground is that you can just really focus on the movement a little bit more because, again, you are lower to the ground, so you feel a little bit safer. So if you can get onto your knees, I love this exercise. You're just going to go kneeling to half kneeling. Now you can see this is the working leg. When I'm trying to bring this leg through, I have to keep it extended in order to keep my body upright. And I'm almost having to hike this hip up a little bit more so you can see that's abducting that hip. Okay? So bringing that leg through. Now, don't put in the comments which leg is the working leg. If you missed what I just said, rewind the explanation I just gave and watch it again. It is good for you to have to kind of think through this a little bit and think about what leg is the working leg, because it does help you to kind of understand what you need to be thinking about. So rewind this section, watch it again. But this is the working leg. You're bringing the other leg through. You can see this is the one that's staying extended and abducting. Okay, so this is the working leg. And bring it through. All right, and then that is it for this video. As a reminder, don't forget, there is a PDF handout that goes along with this video that has pictures and descriptions of all the exercises that we went through today to make it that much easier for you to incorporate these exercises into your home exercise routine. To get access to that PDF handout, you do have to be a member. To learn more about our memberships and to sign up, visit rehab-hq.com. If you're new to this channel and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so that you'll get notified every time I upload new videos. I enjoyed spending time with y'all today, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.